Hello, today we'll be talking about feces and organic waste as a biofuel. And this is my table of contents. So, what is a biofuel? A biofuel is basically a fuel that is made of any biological material, and this can be any type of organic waste or plants or algae. And as far as feces, feces can be converted into a biogas through anaerobic digestion, and this can be used for heat or electricity or any type of fuel, which can include like jet fuel or even fuel that you use for your car or heat. The growth and cultivation. As far as growth, this isn't a resource that is going to finish or waste. There's basically no type of shortage of it, and because of this, it is always being produced. And there are new technological advances that have found ways that turn feces into liquid fuel. So production and reaction process. As far as the production process, it's basically taking the waste and heating it up. So if you take any type of food scraps or any livestock waste, it can chemically be broken down into a type of thick oil-like liquid, which is basically just crude oil. And through this process, you take wet waste and heat it up to 200 to 250 degrees Celsius and have it under around 3,000 psi of pressure. And with the crude oil, then it can be refined and you can turn it into things such as gasoline or jet fuel. As far as the reaction process, this process is called anaerobic digestion. And with anaerobic digestion, is basically using the microorganisms and breaking them down in a place where there's no oxygen. So this would be an oxygen-free space, and you would be producing raw biogas. And this helps us create heat or electricity or fuel. And also, while you're doing this, you are also using food waste or any type of residue and turning it into a renewable energy. So this is a diagram that shows basically how everything works, which is you take your waste and use an anaerobic digester, which turns everything into a biogas. And from there, you can turn it into heat or electricity, or turn it into biomethane, which you can use into fuel or any type of gas. So the development. Since organic waste is always available and there's no shortage of it, scientists can do infinite research on it to see how we can make organic waste into a fuel. And as far as the carbon footprint, from turning organic waste into fuel is super efficient because it's basically like recycling a whole process. And this is because we use the same carbon that is already in the environment and just reuse it. And we know that plants use it, and then animals use plants as a type of food source, and everything comes together to turn any type of dead fossils or any type of waste into fuel. And when turning organic waste into fuel, it is much safer than other types of forms of turning things into fuel, such as digging fuel from the ground. And in the process of doing this, you are also helping the environment because it prevents waste in things such as junkyards to release harmful gases and bacteria into the environment. So we're taking all of that waste and using it as a resource to help us in our everyday lives. The economic impact. Using organic waste and turning it into fuel is very economically beneficial because we are basically using a resource that is free. Because anything that is waste, or anything that you throw in the trash that is food, or any animal that dies, we can use those resources and turn them into fuel instead of doing things such as digging for oil, which is much more expensive and it also hurts the environment much more. So spreading the word. In my opinion, the best way to spread the word is to just use organic fuel as organic waste as a fuel, and showing people that it does work, and while it being healthier for the environment. Personal analysis. So I think if we're gonna help our earth, it should be now. And a way to do this is by using organic waste to create fuel. And we all know that digging for oil has been hurtful to our environment and even dangerous to the workers in the oil fields. Um, and there is no harm in taking waste and using it, for a better good than just leaving it in the junkyards and burning it into the atmosphere. Um, and based on the research that I have done, using feces as a biofuel is only beneficial, and we will keep looking for ways to develop this and use organic waste to turn it into fuel. So as far as plan of action, I believe the first action we should take is to educate people on the benefits of using organic waste, to create fuel, and then create foundations that work with places that have so much waste, and a lot of junkyards, and use that waste to create fuel instead of just letting the waste rot and contaminate the environment. Lastly, I believe that research is one of the most important parts of this process, and having a team of researchers, with all the resources available, can help us create change in how we use feces to create fuel. And this is my works cited, and thank you for listening.